I thought I would do a quick video while I'm getting ready, just because I figure kill two birds with one stone. I was just messaging back and forth one of my friends about why her body doesn't want to let go of weight. Comment below if that is like where you are right now mentally with like what is going wrong. Why will my body not let go of weight? Well, let me just give you a little picture of what I have found over the years. So if you don't have a drink, go pause this, go sit down, because this might be a little long, but just want you to hear what I have learned. So the first thing is caloric restriction. Now I'm going to say it this way. It doesn't matter whether it's keto, Weight Watchers, Atkins, Optavia, doesn't matter how. The how doesn't matter. The what is what matters. So what you want to know, especially with the macro courses, is I teach this in week 1, is when you're on track with whatever your nutrition plan is, you know your caloric intake. And let's use Optavia for an example, because I know a lot of you follow me because of Optavia. So when you're on the 5-in-1, you're at about 800, 850 calories a day. Now, again, those are good calories. So, more power to you, right? But when you go off track, it's normally because let's say one cookie turns into 5. Do you have any idea how many calories those 5 cookies counted? No, you don't. But then you're like, well, I'm off track. So then we're going to go eat Mexican tonight, because when I'm on track, I don't eat Mexican. And now that I'm off track, right? And then you're like, well, geez, I'm off track. Let's go and have Ben and Jerry's, right? And so the 5 cookies were 1,000 calories. The Mexican was probably 1,200 calories. The Ben and Jerry's is 800. Add that to what you've already eaten. That one cookie turned into a 4,000 calorie day. So I would challenge all of you that when you go off track, which this is the painful part of this conversation, go back the next day and go plug everything you ate into MyFitnessPal, because most people have no clue what they're actually eating and how many calories they are putting in their body when they are off track and they're going to get back on tomorrow. But we know most of us are in that diet mentality. So then when you go off track on a Friday, it's a Friday. So you're like, well, forget it. I'm going to eat off track. It's just, you don't get back on. So then Saturday isn't just a 4,000 calorie day. It's at least 5,000 or 6,000, because you start with breakfast, pancakes, waffles, whatever. Then lunch, you go to wherever your fast food place, dinner, all that stuff. So there, boom, let's say that was a 5,000 calorie day. You wash, rinse, repeat on Sunday. You just 150 calorie cookie just turned into 15,000 calories. And it takes 3,500 calories to gain a pound. So how many pounds did all those calories actually just put on you? And then boom, you slam back to 850 calories on Monday. Okay. That is so hard on the adrenals. All right. That is yo-yo dieting. And most people are like, but I didn't eat that much. I'm like, bull crap. You don't know what you ate. You have no clue what anything counts, because nobody plugs in Ben and Jerry's and Oreos into MyFitnessPal. And most of them don't plug in Mexican food. And Mexican food, my favorite, is the worst in calories and all of that. So first, check yourself before you wreck yourself, right? Remember that song. Okay, so do yourself a favor. If you don't know what you're doing, you don't know what you're doing. And as I always say, if you're trying to shoot at a target in the dark, you're always going to miss. Figure out what you're actually doing. So now let me take you to the next part of this, though, that is super important. Number 1, when you yo-yo, restrict, spike all those calories, restrict, spike, you are punching your adrenal glands over and over and over again. And many of you guys have heard the whole thing about insulin resistance and all of that. Let me give you a high level overview. So when you start punching those adrenals every Monday, boom, back down to whatever your caloric intake is. Again, keto, Atkins, Weight Watchers, Optavia, doesn't matter how. When you're creating that pendulum, guess what happens? You're punching your adrenal function lower, 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 lower. And like I've mentioned in my past videos, I have had over 150 people in the last 3 years start working with my hormone doctor. And I can tell you almost every single one, their adrenal function was so low that their body couldn't pump out adrenaline correctly. So when you run to the mailbox or you decide you're going to exercise because you're so needing to do something, or you're stressing out, normally when your heart rate raises, your adrenals release adrenaline, right? But when those adrenals are not working correctly, they can't produce the correct amount of adrenaline. So it starts pumping out cortisol. Cortisol is the alternate hormone to adrenaline. So now guess what's happening? The more cortisol that's pumping into your body, guess what can't happen when you have cortisol pumping through your body all day long? Weight loss. Did you follow that? I'm going to repeat that. When your adrenals are not functioning at a normal level, which I can guarantee if you are the person that's been yo-yo dieting on any diet, doesn't matter what one, your adrenal function is low, so your cortisol level is high. And bonus, when that happens, you become insulin resistant. Now, not everybody, this is not, but this is, again, I've collected data on how many people that have started working with my hormone doctor. Now, the fix of this is, wait for it. Number one, pay attention when you go off track, what you're actually doing and how many calories that is. Check yourself before you wreck yourself, right? Other thing is this, is before you start working with a hormone doctor or anything like that, go do the deep dive. You found me on YouTube, so go deep dive YouTube, but I would say go deep dive TikTok. That's where I love TikTok. But sorry, I'm getting this hair going. But go watch a bunch of videos on metabolic reset. If you are the classic yo-yo dieter, I would be very shocked if you are not also dealing with low adrenal function, which is shutting down your metabolism. So go learn what metabolic reset is. This is what I talk about in my macros courses, because if you keep trying to go restrict down to 850 calories, but then you keep yo-yoing, it isn't working anymore. And again, doesn't matter if it's keto, Weight Watchers, Atkins, your body cannot function on that 850 calories anymore because of that insulin resistance, and you're not absorbing sugar the same way. Go listen to Elizabeth Benton's Primal Potential podcast, starting with number 1. Go search it. 001, and it'll bring you to number 1, and listen to her first 20 videos. And it's going to give you the aha that you're missing. Because if you keep white knuckling it through low calories, and then you keep yo-yoing and you keep saying, what is wrong with me? There might not be anything wrong with you. There might be something wrong with your adrenals that you've caused from all the yo-yo dieting. So this is why I have everyone by the end of the 4th week in my macros course going, holy cow, because until you can repair the damage that you've done with all the yo-yo dieting to those adrenals, you are not going to be able to stick to any nutrition program that has a low caloric intake, because your adrenals aren't pumping out adrenaline correctly, so you're pumping out cortisol. And go deep dive that. You cannot lose weight correctly if you are pumping cortisol out all the time. So do yourself a favor. To recap, this is not about a specific diet. This is about, if you are not losing weight, it might be because of you having some issues with your adrenals from the yo-yo dieting and need to look into metabolic reset. So number 1, go download on podcast Elizabeth Benton's Primal Potential podcast and search 001. So you start with number 1, her first ever podcast, and listen to her first 20. Then deep dive metabolic reset. And those 2 things are going to be huge for the aha that you need to stop continuing the madness of doing the same thing over and over and over again and expecting a different result. So ask yourself, how long have you been doing the same thing and expecting a different result? That is insanity. So figure out what you need to know and give your body a break for a hot second and stop trying to lose weight and start trying to heal your body first before you keep yo-yoing and getting into further and further and further a deeper rabbit hole. That would be my advice to you. And this is, I just did this video because of a girl reaching out, asking me some questions about this, but I deep dive this in my macros course. So I have a new one that starts the first Monday of every month. And so I go through this because if you can't do a metabolic reset to reset all the damage from the yo-yo dieting, you're just going to keep doing it over and over again, hoping for a different result. And that's not possible. So comment below if you're still with me at this point and you're going, okay, there is something off. I just don't know what it is. And as you go off track, count those calories. You will be shocked and sad and all of that. And then you're going to go, okay, no wonder why this isn't working. The off-track days are off-track days. So comment below how many off-track days a month you think you really have, because I'd be curious to hear that. So thanks for watching. Comment below. Love seeing all you guys' comments in the comments. Bye, guys.